ready. Let's
do this.
do this.
Yes.
Hopefully there's no delay because it seemed like there might have been a little bit. What's going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this, our review for 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort. This is season 2. I believe this is episode 15, if I'm not mistaken.
15, yeah.
I'm back with my good old pal, Dustin. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm back with my good old pal, Dustin. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for always being there as always, Jonathan. I hope you're having hope you had a good nap. I know just had a nap, so hope you had a good nap, and so I hope you had a good. I hope so far. I hope you're having a good day so far. We got a lot to cover tonight, so yeah. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready.
Thank you so much, Dustin. Yes, I'm so sorry for us being. Can you see me and hear me?
You're breaking up and you're frozen, so I don't know what's going on with my side. You're frozen. Okay, I can see
Oh,
you now. Okay. I can
okay,
see you now.
okay, all right,
There's a
cool.
little bit of there's a little bit of delay, so there's a little bit of a delay going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's probably because I just turned on my computer, and so yeah, it's kind of catching up. But I think we'll be good to go from here on out.
All
But
right.
anyway, so we start out the episode with Rob and Sophie. They're in bed, and Julia climbs into bed with them. She's waking them up. Julia slept in Rob and Sophie's room because she and Brandon are not on good terms currently.
Nope.
They're kind of going at it. Brandon had told Julia that he wanted to leave after understanding that Julia had gotten a visa for her parents to come to America. And so she and Brandon are not on the best terms right now. And so then we get
Right.
Darcy and Stacy. Darcy and Stacy spent the night together because Stacy was just told by Darcy some information of Florian possibly walking some blonde home after seeing two blondes at a club while they were in their own town. And so Stacy goes to Florian's room and she knocks on the door. Florian answers the door as though it was a little aggressive when he opened the door. And Stacy's like, don't come at me with, being all aggressive and stuff like that. But at the same time, Stacy is coming to Florian with aggression because I don't know how to deal with Stacy in this moment. I really don't know how to deal with Stacy, but she asked Florian to explain again what happened. And he said that there was a drunk girl that lived in the same building that he was living in, or I guess that Florian lives with Stacy in. And he just walked her home and and got her there. He said he didn't even walk her to her door or whatever the case might be. And so surely what Florian is saying. However, Stacy's saying that she wants to work things out and she wants things to get better between her and Florian. And so she's going to believe him for now. And she's just going to take his word for it. Me personally, I don't believe that Florian has necessarily cheated on Stacy. I don't know what Stacy's definition of cheating in a relationship is to Stacy, but I personally do not believe that he's, had any sexual relations with anyone else. I personally don't believe that he's really talking with interest to anyone else currently, trying to start any type of relationship with anyone else. But Dustin, what was your reaction to Stacy's conversation with Florian concerning what actually happened on that night in question?
Well, I didn't like the reaction. I mean, I didn't like Stacy's reaction. I don't like Stacy. Period. I made that pretty known this whole season. I'm not a big fan of Stacy at all, and I don't think that Stacy. I think Stacy needs to give him another chance because I don't think he's really done anything wrong in my opinion, Jonathan. And I think that she's blowing this out of proportion. I really do, but I can't prove it. So, and I don't think she can prove it either. So, as long as when you can give me proof, come back then and you give me the proof. But I don't want to see you again. I don't want to see her again. Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah, Stacy was really annoying me in this episode because it's like, okay, forgive him for what he might have done, or you're going to, it's all these accusations that she's putting on Florian, all these accusations of infidelity that she's putting on Florian. They're just extremely annoying. It's like you're either going to trust him or you're not. He told you the first night that you brought it to his attention before. He's telling you on this particular night, on this particular morning, he's telling you the same story. She says that she doesn't want to believe it or she's not believing it, but she's not going to keep egging him on about it because she wants to move forward and she wants to have a better relationship with Florian. But I want Stacy, if you're going to trust Florian, then you have to trust him and you have to take his word for it. But you can't have all this doubt on Florian. Yes, I understand that Florian has had infidelities on Stacy in the past. However, you have to put that behind you. Once you put that behind you, it cannot come to the present any longer. Once it's put behind you, it's got to stay behind you, and that's it. And so I just feel so bad for Florian because Florian is such a genuinely nice guy, and he wants to help everyone. He wants to be nice to everyone that he encounters. He wants to be the best man that he possibly can be, and he just wants to be a good man. And of course, that's the reason why he's so close to Darcy, because he's that good of a man. But Stacy sees something's wrong with it, so it's just annoying to me that Stacy has all these trust issues with Florian, whereas I understand that Florian has given her reason to doubt his trust in the past. But once again, once you get past certain infidelities, you have to leave that in the past. You can't bring it to the present. Robin says down here in the comments, "Hey, I got so excited about the live because it's a chance to see you that I completely overlooked." The fact that I don't watch Last Resort. That's okay, Robin. You can still enjoy the banter and the back and forth that Justin and I have. And this might, I don't know if this will encourage you to watch the show, Robin, because I'm almost at my wit's end with all these couples. But hey, it's okay. And then Robin,
we only have a couple more episodes left, Jonathan. So
right, yeah,
we don't have that many episodes left. I think we're going to move on to the regular 90-day fiance after this show ends. So yeah, I think so. But I don't think I think we have like 2 episodes left, and that's about it. Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Gotcha. And then Robin also said, "I watched 90 Day last night, and finally saw Soror's Charm. I'm not exactly sure who that is, as well as
Surfer. Yeah, Surfer probably.
Surfer. Okay, Surfer's Charm, as well as Shekinah's generous or Jamaris.
Yes.
Oh, ginormous lips. Yes, she kind of does have some ginormous lips. Absolutely. I don't think she needs all that face work done, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we will get back to that. And then there's Aaron D. Aaron D's in the building. Hey, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us for our Last Resort review. So yeah, that's what happened between Stacy and Florian. I just wish Florian was with a woman who trusted him. Because I think Florian is a good man at heart, and I think he has the best intentions when he's in his relationships to treat his woman right. Yes, Florian has cheated on Stacy in the past, and that this should stop Stacy from trusting him in the future. But anyways, then we move on to Julia and Brandon. Brandon is in his room and he's packing up. He's ready to go. Brandon is upset with Julia because Julia just revealed to him in a therapy session that she has gotten a visa for her parents to come to America so that Julia could have some support of her own because she's over here in America with Brandon and his family. She doesn't feel like Brandon's
by herself.
parents really support her and love her
Right.
and really want the best for her. So she wants to bring some support over to America as well. And I can appreciate that and I support that. But Brandon is really upset about this, and it really tells me that it doesn't seem like Brandon has too much experience in relationships in
Nope.
general, unless all of his partners in the past have just lied to him and told him everything that he wants to hear. But Julia seems to keep it real with Brandon, and I don't think that he's used to that. But Brandon is packing up, he wants to leave, and Julia's saying to him, why are you leaving? Why are you running away? Why are you doing this? And then she tells Brandon, you understand if you run away, then, you're calling it quits on our relationship. That means that you're not trying to work on our relationship because that is the reason why we're at the resort to work on our relationship.
Hmm.
So what was your reaction, Dustin, to Brandon literally packing up and being ready to leave the resort?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I hate that I have to say this, but I wish he would leave. I don't think I wish he would leave because I don't think this relationship is going to last no matter what they try to do with it, Jonathan. I really do think that it's best for them to break it apart and move forward with different people because they both have different things they want in a relationship, and they can't get on the same page.
Yeah, Brandon is in an unfortunate situation. Brandon seems to be like a very sheltered person. Doesn't seem like he has too much life experience. And it seems like anytime that something goes wrong in his life, he's able to run to his parents and they're able to coddle him and tell him everything is going to
Hmm.
be okay and you're okay, you're perfect, you're all this and you're all that. But Brandon doesn't seem to have too much life experience to where he's used to being let down or used to being told unfortunate information or information that is not going to make him happy. But Julia seems to be the adult in this relationship. She seems to be the grown up in this situation and in this relationship. And it's so hard for me to see Brandon react in these ways and to be so childish in his reaction to finding things out that he's unaware of. And Julia's trying because Julia really wants to be in this relationship. She really wants things to work out between them, but Brandon is making it so hard. And then also Brandon wants children and Julia doesn't want children. But I don't want Julia to have Brandon's children because I don't think that Brandon is ready to have any children. I don't think he's mature enough to
I don't
raise
think
a child. But
I don't think it's
go ahead,
I
Dustin.
don't think I don't think it's mature enough to have a relationship. He's not he's not in the same page. He don't need to have a relationship, let alone kids.
Right, exactly. Aaron says down in the comments, if you can't communicate and get a plan together, it just can't work. Exactly. And that's one of the main issues that all of these couples have is a lack of communication. Now, I will say though that Stacey and Florian, they do communicate quite well. I will admit that.
Yeah.
I won't say that they communicate well, but they don't have an issue with communicating. I don't think their communication is the most positive or the best type of communication, but they are good at communicating with one another. So I will say that. But yeah, it's just Brandon is really irking my nerves, and I really felt bad for him at the beginning of this particular season because it seemed like he was such a sweet guy, and it seemed like he wanted the best for Julia. But to be honest, it seems like Brandon is more of a selfish person, whereas he wants everything to go his way, the way that he wants things to go, and if things
His
don't
way
go the way he wants things to go, then he's going to exit stage left.
I always say that his way or the highway. I don't know if you heard that phrase or not before, but it's always his way or the highway. And it's like you have two people in a relationship, so you gotta get it right, people.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it is with Brandon. It is his way or the highway. And to be honest, I wish Brandon would just leave Julia to give Julia the opportunity to go out and seek another relationship and maybe a more positive relationship or someone who's on her level because I just see
Mm,
Brandon as an immature little boy. He's acting like an immature little boy this entire season, and it's extremely annoying. And once again, I don't think that Brandon is ready to have a child. I really don't. I think that that
mm-mm.
might be a dream of his, maybe from when he was really young, maybe to be able to have the type of relationship that he has with his parents, to have that with his own children. And that's sweet, but I don't think Brandon is mature enough to have a child and to raise a child. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. It is what it is on that. But then we get to this couples therapy, this group session with all the couples being involved, and they mentioned that this is the first time that they have a group session without Ari and without Benny. I'm so glad that Ari and Benny are gone, and I'm so glad that they made the decision to get a divorce. I
Mm,
was really happy about that, and so the couple session you know, they start asking questions amongst one another, and we then find out that Gino is going to is actually going to consider this whole open relationship. We see Mamir in
Hey,
the
Mamir.
comments. Hey Mamir, thank you so much for being here. Love you for watching. um
Mhm.
Gino says that he's going to consider an open relationship with Jasmine. Dustin, do you believe Gino when he says
No, I
this?
do not. No, I do not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. No, I don't. I don't
And
think that
why is it that
I,
you think he said this if you don't think that he believes it?
he did it for the cameras. He did it
Mm.
for the show. He did it for the cameras because he ain't gonna do. I bet you when this season ends, I bet you next if we have a next season, our last resort, we don't hear about one thing about it, and he ain't gonna say anything about it. And I bet you he ain't gonna do it at all. He ain't gonna do it at all. Mm.
And the best part of this particular revelation that we saw is that Rob in his confessional says, "I don't think that Gino wants to have an open marriage with Jasmine." He said that Gino has some insecurities that he has to deal with, and he has a beautiful woman, and he would not want his woman to be, you know, be having any type of sexual relationship with anyone else. And
Me,
I believe Rob. Like I love when Rob shows his maturity in these types of scenes because it just makes him look so much better. But
I'm with Rob all the way. I'm with
right,
Rob all the way.
exactly. I really I'm really impressed by what Rob is saying in this instant. But I'm with Rob on this. I really don't think that Gino wants to wants to agree to having any type of open relationship. Aaron says down in the comments, no, Gino is too jealous. Exactly, Gino is too jealous. And the thing is Aaron, he doesn't want to. He although he says he would consider an open relationship, he doesn't want Jasmine to have any type of interaction with any other man, but he
Mm-mm.
refuses to have sex with her. And it's
Nope.
like so you won't do one thing, you won't do the other. So what will you do? You'll just continue to have a sexless relationship, a sexless marriage, and
Mm.
you just have your own thing with your corn. I
You know,
can't say the P word, but you know, with your own
yeah.
corn thing on the side where you get yours. But Jasmine is over here all by herself and she gets no sexual satisfaction whatsoever. I think that is so unfair to Jasmine. It's completely unfair to Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
And Jasmine's just sitting there and she's just taking it. And I think that's so unfair to Jasmine. It's so unfair to her. Um, Dustin, were you going to say something?
No, I just said, I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think it's gonna last at all. I don't know. Like Jasmine and Gino, I don't know if I don't think it's gonna last for the long haul. Mm-mm.
Mamir says down in the comments, in regards to Brian, I think she means Brandon, being too immature to be a parent. There is an old saying: adults don't make babies, babies make adults. Yes, but that might just be wishful thinking. Yeah, you know, we'll see what happens with him. I don't know if it's just that with the fact that with Brandon's reactions to all these things that are happening with Julia, bringing things to his attention that he was not aware of. His
Mhm.
reactions to them, he just wants to run away. That's just so immature to me. Aaron also says to the comments, just know Rob is terrible. I understand your point on Rob, Aaron. It's just that in this instance, when Rob is making sense, then Rob just looks that much better to me. And I agree. I would have to admit at this point, Aaron, that I am a Rob apologist. I'm just coming to Rob's defense. Unless he does something blatantly wrong, then I'll have to say, Rob is wrong. And when Rob is wrong, I'll call it out. I will call it out. It's just that in this instance, when he was talking about Gino not wanting an open relationship, I just think that he was right in this instance. Um,
And let me say something to that question.
Go ahead.
For a minute, I don't understand why she doesn't like Rob, and I don't have any problem with Rob. So we can. I definitely don't. I disagree, Aaron. Tonight, I disagree with you saying about that about Rob because I don't think there's an issue with Rob. I think Rob has the most on this season so far of the last resort. I think Rob uh has the most things going for him between me and Jonathan. So I don't understand why you don't like Rob. Yes, you might have your reasons why, but I don't understand it. So that's just my opinion right
Well,
there.
well, well, Dustin, I have
Well,
to say that the things that Rob has done to Sophie in the past, has left a really, really bad taste in Aaron's mouth about Rob, and I completely understand that. I really do understand why Aaron doesn't like Rob because Rob, his communication skills have not been the best, especially when we first saw them and when we were first reviewing them on another show.
Right.
Rob's actions were not the best in any way, shape, or form. So I really do understand why Aaron has this issue with Rob. Aaron says down in the comments, I can't with Rob. He is selfish. Yes, he has shown selfish tendencies in his previous seasons on 90 Day Fiance. I agree with that, Aaron, and I completely see where you're coming from, Aaron, with your
Yeah.
distaste for Rob. I completely understand it, Aaron. It's just that on this season of Last Resort, I see Rob at least making an effort to
He's
be
trying
better.
making an effort to try to fix it, trying to
Y-
fix it.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I'm trying. I'm there. Maybe that's what I'm saying. He's making an effort. He's making the most effort out of all the rest of the couples, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
Rob is showing showing
it,
showing growth.
yeah,
And it's beautiful for me to see Rob showing this growth. And I just appreciate seeing that from him in this season of The Last Resort. And Aaron also says down in the comments, thank you, Dustin and Jonathan. Yeah, and so it's I get where you're coming from, Aaron, and you are completely validated with your feelings about Rob because he gave you a reason to feel that way about him. This doesn't come from out of nowhere. Rob's actions on Sophie in the past have been somewhat deplorable in some ways. But I feel as though now that he's on The Last Resort, he's making effort to do better.
right.
He's making effort to work on his issues, and so
Mm,
so there's that. But then we get Josh and Natalie, and we
mm,
find out that Natalie has never been to Josh's residence,
yeah.
never
Mm.
been to his place. I'm like, this is shocking to me. Well, I guess it should not be
Now I
shocking to me because of the way
now
that Josh has been acting this entire Last Resort. Go ahead, Dustin.
I have I understand. I don't like Josh or Natalie both. I just don't like This couple, I they're not getting anywhere. My opinion, they're not getting anywhere, and I don't think she gonna be with him. She's allegedly not with him currently. They have both moved on. So you know it's better off for them to move on. But I hope they're both happy wherever they land. I don't. They're not good for each other. No, they're not good for each other at all.
I think Josh is too self-absorbed to even consider being in a relationship with anyone because when you're in a relationship, you have to consider someone else's feelings, emotions, and thoughts in every decision that you make. And Josh is not
Mhm.
willing to do that. I don't know why Josh is with Natalie. I don't get why they are together. They make
Nope.
zero sense to me whatsoever. She's never even been to his place. Like that's crazy to me. I don't know exactly how long they've been together, but I'm assuming they've been
They've
together
been
for
together.
at least
They've
two
been
years.
they've been together for 3 years. 3 years
Okay,
now.
three
3 years.
years. Thank you so much for that, Dustin.
Yeah.
And so it's insane to me that Natalie has never been to his place. Now, Natalie does give me vibes of, she's not your
Now
average
there
woman,
now
kind of.
now another thing that you probably don't know about is he has other kids with another woman, and Natalie wanted to meet the kids, and he told and she got told no. So I don't think no, I don't think I just don't see the relationship lasting. Nope.
Well, I can't say that I'm upset about him not allowing her to meet his children, especially if he doesn't see Natalie as being in a serious relationship with her.
Yeah,
And I don't think that kids should be meeting boyfriends or girlfriends unless you're at least engaged or ready to walk down the aisle. Like
I can agree.
it's
I
to
agree with that. I
to
agree with
me,
that.
the relationship has to be extremely serious before you allow your significant other to meet your children. But that's just my opinion.
Mhm.
But to find out that Josh has never allowed Natalie to be in his house, like that is insane to me. That is completely crazy to me. Mamir says down here in the comments, it's my guy. If my guy wasn't shown hasn't shown me his place after 3 years, I'd assume he was either very messy. That's true. A hoarder, or that is a whole nother woman living there. Yes, I'd agree with that, Mamir. He's either crazy, yeah, absolutely. Either messy, a hoarder, or he's got another girl in there. Like I feel like Josh is hiding something that he has not revealed yet, and I think he just needs to let Natalie go on her own. Just go off and
So,
do her own thing.
do you think they're going to reveal it within the next 2 episodes?
I doubt it. I don't think Josh wants to make himself look like anything less than good. If there's anything out there that's going to make Josh look bad, he's not going to reveal it to anyone whatsoever. Once again, I think the only reason why Josh is on The Last Resort is because he loves being on TV, and he probably
Right.
loves the reaction he gets from fans, maybe saying that he's a good-looking guy, which he is a nice-looking guy, but his personality makes him look not so good, at least in my opinion. Um,
Hey,
Josh is not,
Robin.
he's not
Mhm.
all that. Robin says down in the comments, come on, two things. Thing one, Natalie is a psycho. I
I
can't
agree.
I can't
I agree.
I can't deny that. Thing two, the relationship is made for TV. Yes, yes, it is. Only yes, I agree with that. Josh and Natalie have no business being on The Last Resort because I don't think they really want to work on their relationship because to me, I see no relationship between Josh and Natalie.
Mm.
I've never seen them on good terms on this show, on any good terms on this show whatsoever. I've seen nothing good between the two. Um, so yeah, that's all I got to say about Josh and Natalie. And the last thing I want to get to before we get out of here, you guys, is that Brandon and Julia have come to a point to where Brandon has said the only way he will move forward with Julia is if she gets a second opinion on her infertility issues. Apparently, she has some infertility issues. This is the first time that I'm hearing about this. Um,
Yeah.
but
I
but
didn't. I didn't know
but
about that. So.
Right, but he said that he wants her to get a second opinion on her infertility issues. And Julia agreed to having a second opinion on her infertility issues. And this brings tears to Brandon's eyes, and gets really emotional, and they have what they call a breakthrough.
Mm.
I was just rolling my eyes at Brandon this entire time. I was like, this is just Brandon getting his way. But this
Yeah.
this 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 gives no hope for Julia in this relationship. But again, I don't know what Julia is looking for in this relationship. I wish I got more of an understanding of what Julia wants out of Brandon. But
Hmm.
Brandon is happy, and he's glad that he didn't leave. What was your reaction, Dustin, to Julia agreeing to getting a second opinion on her infertility issues, and I guess
Well,
this bringing them closer together?
I didn't even know she had this issue, so it kind
Me
of
either.
surprised me. It kind of surprised me that it even was brought up in the show. And I hope she does get a second opinion because, if this one don't work out and she gets another person that wants kids, or I hope she does get a second opinion. But I hope that they both come to a resolution what they're going to do, because I don't want to see anybody miserable. It's no fun to be miserable, Jonathan. And it's hard for me to hard to say what's going to happen, because I can't really predict what's going to happen between these couples. Uh, so I just don't know I don't know what to expect in the future to any of these couples.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once again, I want to see Brandon in a better light. It's just that I don't expect to see Brandon in a better light. I just want Brandon to grow up. I want Brandon to be more mature, and it's kind of hard to get a grown man to be more mature, because a lot of times once we come to be an adult, we're sort of kind of set in our ways, and it's kind of hard to change. But it is possible to change. It is very possible to change. We see it happen all the time. It's just that it's hard to change once you've gotten to a set rhythm of the way that you go about life. But
Yeah.
it,
Hmm.
it is what it is. But
Sometimes you have to make the change, but even
right,
though
it
even
that
though even though you don't like to make the change, because I'm not a big fan of change myself. So
me either, Dustin. Me either. I'm a creature of habit for sure.
yeah, so I don't like changing myself, but sometimes we have to make the change. Um, but I still don't like change. But just being honest, it's hard to make the change sometimes. Really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, Aaron says down in the comments, I wasn't surprised by Julia's issues, because it seems more painful when they talk about kids than just not wanting. Yeah, it does seem like that's a very sensitive issue for Julia, and for any woman, who does desire to have children. When there are infertility issues, that is a soft subject for
Yeah.
people who are in that situation. Robin says down in the
Mm.
comments, I'm very I'm very. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me take a picture of this one more time, because I did not get a clear vision of what Robin said. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, contrarian. Okay. Robin says down in the comments, I'm very contrarian. Been watching this show long enough that I believe the housewives storylines more than the 90 days. Uh, I understand where you're coming from with that, Robin, because it does seem like these couples constantly have issues, and it seems like some of these issues may not actually be real. Like this whole thing that Stacey has going on with Florian, accusing him of cheating on her. That she got some call from Darcy's husband George, and this whole story that came out of nowhere. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. Like it doesn't seem like it's even true. And then Florian just saying, he just walked someone home. It's not believable to me. And to be honest, I really don't think that Jasmine wants an open marriage. But I think she's just saying this because it gives her a storyline on the show. So it's different for me. Aaron says
Right.
down in the comments, for what Julia wants from Brandon, I think she's scared to move on. I agree with that. Um, it's more about her, and her self-worth than him. Yes, I do believe that. I think Julia, I think Julia has some growing to do as well, Aaron. And I think Julia
Mhm.
needs to find herself and get her own self identity, because I think her identity is all tied up in Brandon at this point, Aaron. And I want Julia to find herself, and have some
Right.
self worth as well. So I do agree with that, Aaron. That was a
Mhm.
good that was a good indication that you saw there. But that's all we got for this review of 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort. You guys, I did post a review on RuPaul's Drag Race, the most recent episode. I posted that yesterday. Hey, Lady Virgo. Lady Virgo just popped up in the comments. So glad that you were here, girl. Thank you for making it in.
Mhm.
I did a review on the most recent episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. So you guys check that out on my channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Press that thumbs up button. Let us know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the couples excuse me, on 90 Day Fiance, The Last
Right.
Resort. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And make sure you share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Dustin, why don't you go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick?
My social media is Dustin Butler. My Facebook and my Instagram is Dustin Butler 700. I want to thank Jonathan for always being there as always. Love you very much, and thank you for my whole entire team very much.
You're very welcome, Dustin. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_Speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee07. That's $JonathAnlee07. Thank y'all once again so much for joining us for this review. Make sure you join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for our live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I'll see you guys there, and make sure you join us next week, next Monday, same time, same place, same
Same
beautiful
beautiful
faces.
face.
But until then, we'll say bye for now. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Eat good out there, and stay warm as well. It's warm down here in South Carolina,
Yeah.
so stay warm out there. Love you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. See you
See
guys
you on the
later.
next one.
Bye, you guys.